All right, so group games in kids' classes are one of the best ways to bring up the energy, engagement, creativity, and all that stuff in the class. Okay, so Jiu-Jitsu is generally a one-on-one game, but sometimes it's really beneficial to use group games in our classes as well. Okay, both in team formats and free-for-all formats. Okay, for a lot of kids, the group games are going to be their favorite part of class every single time. It's going to be what gets the most energy out of them. Okay, but one big mistake you can make is to treat them as a filler. Okay, so you end up playing games like dodgeball and things like that just don't really have anything to do with jujitsu. The kids love it, but they're not actually getting better at jujitsu. So we want our group games to teach jujitsu. Okay, so games that improve their movement, balance, awareness, decision making, technical skills as it relates to grappling. And there's a lot of research that shows kids learn better through play than anything else, especially when it comes to engagement and retention of those skills. Okay, so today I'm going to walk you through 5 group games we use in our classes that do exactly that. All right, so our first game is capture the ball. Okay, so this is like a capture the flag style game. So what we need for this is we need 2 medicine balls or something similar. We want something heavy so they can't just chuck it across the floor. Okay, we're going to divide the team class into 2 teams. One team starts on each side. We give them each a medicine ball. Their goal is simply to protect it. Okay, so they're going to start on the ground, can't stand up, so they can't run. And their goal is to go and wrestle the ball away from the other team, bring it back to their own side. If they get both balls on their side of the mat, they win the game. We stop and reset. This game can get a little bit rough at times. Okay, so we want to make sure we're watching for safety, especially when you got a big clump of people trying to wrestle the ball away. Make sure they're not piling on top of each other, jumping on top of each other, but staying in contact with the ground and making sure your referees are on top of things. Make sure that nobody gets hurt. Okay, our next game, this one we actually use at birthday parties as well, and we call it Bulldogs. And the purpose of this game is just to break down attack to turtle position. Okay, so we're going to line up everybody on one side of the mat. They got to start on their hands and knees. They can crawl, they can't run, they can't roll, but they got to crawl from one side to the other side. Okay, we put one person in the middle. That person's goal is going to be to try and catch the other players as they try and get from one side of the mat to the other and roll them over or put them on their back. Or if you like, you can have them try and get on top, get their hooks in, take the back. If somebody gets caught, they stay in the middle and help out getting all the other players the next time around. Okay, so line them up, blow the whistle, everybody crawls across the mat. Person in the middle is trying to catch them, flip them over, put them on their back or take their back. And anybody gets caught stays in the middle. So by the end of the game, everybody's eliminated. Whoever was the last one to get eliminated is the winner of the game. They'll usually be the one that starts in the middle if we do a second round. Next game, this one's Landmines. This one's been pretty popular for us lately, and there's a couple ways we can do it. But basically, it's a free-for-all game. It's an elimination game. So we want to set obstacles up on the mat. It can just be like yoga blocks stood upright. We can use the little disc cones, put a ball on top of each one. But anything that if they bump it is going to get knocked over. Okay, so everybody's got to start on the ground. They can't stand up. And their goal is to force other players to knock over one of the obstacles. Okay, so push them into them, flip them over into it, whatever it is they can do to make somebody else hit that landmine. If they knock an obstacle over, they're eliminated, and they're out of that game until the next round. All right, number 4, this is zombie tag. Okay, so the way this one works is a takedown-based game. Okay, you can also use it as a guard-based game if you work in that. It kind of does both. But goal here is everybody starts standing except one player. That player's got to start on their knees. They're the zombie, and they can't stand up, so they got to crawl. Slow them down a little bit to zombie speed. Okay. Now, the idea is the zombie has to get a hold of everybody else and take them to the floor. Okay, so any part of their body touches the floor other than the bottoms of their feet, they're eliminated. The same thing if they're trying to hold themselves up with a wall, they're eliminated. Okay, so they got to keep their balance, stay on their feet. If they get taken down by a zombie, they turn into a zombie, they're on that team. Last one still standing wins. With younger kids, we sometimes just do it as a tag game instead of a takedown game at first. Important things to watch for safety with this is, if kids are trying to jump over each other, we want to make sure we put a rule against that so that they're not jumping, getting caught, and then falling on their face, as well as make sure that we're aware of any safety issues around the outside of the mats. Okay, so if you got shelves or anything hard, make sure they're not in a position where they're going to crash into something on the outside of the mat and get hurt. And game number 5, we call this one pulled through the portal. Basically, it's real simple. We just put a line down the center of the mat. Half players on one side, half the players on the other side. Their goal is to get a hold of somebody on the other side and pull them across that line completely. Okay, so as long as they still have some contact on the floor, like one foot still on their side, they're safe. But if they get pulled across the mat pulled across the line entirely, they're eliminated. Okay, so they can step across, grab somebody, try and pull them back across. You can set it up so that they can rescue each other. So if one of their teammates gets caught and is getting pulled, their own team can grab them, try and pull them back. But once they cross that line, they're eliminated. Last team that still has players is the winner. So that is 5 group games to use in jiu-jitsu classes. We got a lot more in our school groups. If you want, you can join that. It's just free to get in. Anyway, that's all for now.